Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Kingdom bringing you another game from CEVO's Dota 2 Arena Season 1. This is round 8, the last round before the playoffs begin. Team Pandemic going up against Phantoms Esports. Phantoms Esports currently the #1 team going into this round. Pandemic coming up through the bottom ranks, beating out some of the lower ranked teams. The question is, do they have enough to take on Phantoms, the kind of the dark horse coming into the tournament? What do you think? I have with me Icon, one of the players from Nexus Gaming, formerly Art of Warfare. So, what do you think about this matchup? Anything to say?
5 seconds remaining.
I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to this. The first challenge Pandemic will have in the tournament. They get to play them in my intent. So I think if they want a chance to one of those playoff spots, they're going to have to drop one of those teams. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. We might see something a little different, because I know I don't really actually notice any of these players. I think I've played with Fosh once, but outside of that, I mean, we could be seeing anything.
Yeah, and that is one of the better parts, one of the more exciting parts about watching Dota at this level, is that you really never just know what you're going to get. Quickly take care of streaming stuff. Bannings probably, I'm assuming, are going to be normal. The first, I mean, what can you do in first round bans? I mean, you only get 4 people to ban out. It's typically the same heroes. Coddle, Wisp, Nyx gets banned a lot, Magnus, Batrider. I mean, there's only so many heroes you can ban and really talk about through that stage. What if, have you been watching Phantoms games, though? Have you been noticing some of their strategies?
They're really big into the 5-man pushing. If you check out most of their videos, they're very good with coordination-wise. I think that's one of the reasons they've really started to take over this league to a certain extent, is because they've really gotten down their TP. Their communication is very good, and their chemistry as a team has been really well developed, and I think that's why. I think obviously they're the favorites in this match, but I hope Pandemic gives them a good shot.
Yeah, just so we can see both teams at their full potential, working as hard as they can. Nyx is banned out here from Phantom's Assassin. Again, absolutely nothing out of the ordinary.
5 seconds.
You just never get to, yeah. Nyx is just like poor hero, never gets played. Coddle too, just bans out every time. I mean, honestly, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Every game. Nyx, the next ban out here from Pandemic. Don't want to go up against the lifestealer. I kind of understand that. If you have watched the videos, I think Fopsy has a couple of videos of Phantoms playing on his channel, and that is youtube.com/FopsyDota. And Andrew Riley's lifestealer has been pretty insane so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that I think that's one thing that they've started to do is branch out, because I remember that they beat Envision with a lone druid, which is something you know we haven't really seen much in the American scene, to say the least. I mean, if we had Chinese players here, it'd be in every game.
Yeah, it's one of those stereotypical Chinese heroes, like all the way back in the day too, like all the way. Batrider gonna be the first pickup here from Team Pandemic, so hopefully we can get an exciting solo mid Batrider play. Phantoms follows up immediately with the Gyrocopter Darkseer, a pretty scary combination. That vacuum into the Gyrocopter ult does a lot of AoE magical damage. But they need a lot of farm up on the Gyrocopter and the Darkseer to really make that effective, especially some levels. Batrider, if he can get the ganks off, can definitely shut that down.
Yeah.
Especially in the mid lane, where Batrider can definitely beat out Gyrocopter. We have been seeing Gyrocopter solo mid a fair amount. Korok made it famous a couple weeks ago, and since then people have been doing it a lot. Also, you see Gyrocopter everywhere. Like, he just does everything. Support, solo safe lane, solo mid. I haven't seen him solo off lane yet.
Reserve time.
Also,
solo off lane is very dangerous for a Gyrocopter.
Yeah, you just kind of like hide and hope you can get experience somewhere. I mean, pointedly, I almost wonder if, I hope that Pandemic has some plan for this Darkseer. They're gonna pick up a Jakiro here, because you typically don't just let Darkseer through. I mean, it's such a strong hero. All of his spells just do so much work. I mean, this Shadow Fiend. This is, I think, like the 3rd or 4th game in a row I've casted from CEVO where a Shadow Fiend has been picked up.
It's interesting, to say the least. And I think, in all honesty, they were probably trapped in picking the Jakiro, because Gyrocopter, Darkseer, Jakiro is a very, very easy combo to land, regardless of what your team is, and I felt like that they kind of saw that coming, and I liked picking up the THD, I liked the Shadow Fiend for the minus armor. Like, they're in for the burst damage, and I think one of the things that Purge has always said whenever there's a Batrider and Jakiro, it's like, let's lay as much crap on the ground as we can and see what happens.
Yeah, just like make everything light on fire.
Reserve time.
And you could probably pick a whole fire lineup based on that. Like get Alina. Hold on, I'm running out of fire heroes. Never mind, maybe you can't. Guess you can cut Dragon Knight. At any rate, Shadow Demon gets picked up here by Phantoms. It's one of their favorite support heroes. And I'm guessing, just looking at this so far, it's going to be Gyrocopter, Shadow Demon in some kind of a tri-lane. But again, they can also run that Gyrocopter solo mid. And it's really going to come down to how the bans run out here, what team Pandemic doesn't want to play against, because Phantom is very open-ended, whereas Pandemic, they need to put that Batrider into a farming position where he can get the levels. They need to put the Shadow Fiend into a farming position where he can get levels. Jakiro just supports and does whatever, but other than that, Pandemic does seem a little bit more locked down than Phantoms, and so the bans are probably going to be easier from Phantom's side, because they know what Team Pandemic needs. They need a support, and they need an off-lane hero.
Well, there's also that chance that they could throw a bat in the jungle, have also pick up a mid, or even, you know, safe or mid the Shadow Fiend. I mean, that's always a possibility as well. So I mean, they still kind of got a little bit more flexibility, I guess, than you can think. Because sometimes Batrider can do well, because if you jungle correctly, you can get about a 6 or 7 minute blink, which really, you know, kind of surprises and helps the team without any contestants. So, and they're on the dire side, so it's easier that way.
Yeah, their jungle is a lot better in that respect. It's not nice if you're trying to choke point jungle and Nyx, but other than that, the dire jungle is generally better. Fatal Lance the ban out here from Phantoms, and I can definitely understand that ban. Although, actually, I don't know, actually, now that I think about it, Gyrocopter is probably the best counter to the Phantom Lancer I can think of off the top of my head. Except Axe, but no one plays Axe.
I mean, unless you watch the the G2 or the G1 league finish out, Pia was the reason that IG won 2 or 3 of their games, so it kind of makes sense. He's kind of a ridiculous hero. I'm really surprised he didn't get picked up in the first 3, to be honest, on either side.
Yeah, I mean, he's super strong. 4.2 agility gain per level is just absolutely insane. Going back to the fact that Dota is more about stats than it is about flashy spells, despite what some solo mid heroes like Dandy might think. Quap and Lone Druid are the next bans out here. Rubik also getting banned out by Pandemic. So it looks like Pandemic banning out. So they are banning out the supports, the solo mids, which is something that Phantoms is lacking, but they're also banning out team fight heroes specifically, which might be pointed, like you said before, to Phantoms' kind of 5-manning kind of role. Lena, the last ban out here, another support. So they are going to have to kind of scramble for another support here. Nothing that really, I guess you can get Leshrac to work with the Shadow Demon. I mean, they can also go for a Kunkka, go for the good old Kunkka SD dual lane. They wanted to try that kind of thing. But yeah, they get a lot of options, but so far Shadow Demon, I've always thought of him as a combo hero, and there's not much left to combo him with. I don't know, what do you think?
I mean, you know, I'd love to see them pull like a Fnatic and pull out like an Alchemist with the Shadow Demon disruption. That's always fun to see. Or I mean, it works really well with the Gyro Rocket as well.
And the vacuum into the now AoE Alch stun. It's pretty insane, man. It's like it's like a reverse polarity. I've never actually seen it work in practice, but in theory it sounds really cool. Pandemic waiting on their 4th pickup here. Tinker was the last ban from Phantoms, so kind of banning a lot of split-pushing heroes. That Lone Druid, Phantom Lancer, definitely a split-pushing hero, and Tinker is like the split-pushing, game-delaying, annoying hero all over the map. I mean,
5 seconds.
I don't know. Okay.
Radiant team pick.
It just got real.
I want that to work so bad. I'm a massive fan of Spectre. She's one of my favorite heroes, even from the Dota 1 days, and I just think she's gotten totally dropped off the metagame because she's got no mid-game relevance and she's not able to flash farm. But once she gets big, holy crap is she strong.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel an AM coming from Phantoms, to be honest. I feel like that's really... Maybe not an AM, I don't know. I feel like just from their bans, it looks like they're banning out some late game stuff. But I mean, there's still a Warlock on the board, so that's also a possibility. Bonds plus Spectre is so dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if he gets that Radiance up, and then if you put a Shadow Fiend ultimate on top of that. I mean, Fatal Bonds is awesome. I really love that spell. It is one of the strongest spells in the game in terms of amping up AoE damage. Like, if you take Fatal Bonds and add it on top of any AoE ultimate, like Shadow Fiend's ultimate, Sand King's ultimate, Venomancer's ultimate, I mean, it's just like tons of magic damage. And, well, not magic damage, it's technically HP removal, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it comes out. In all honesty, because they've still got some decent options with their lanes, but I don't know. Warlock as a support is a little interesting, but I bet if they got some levels up on them and did some good pulling, we could really see some good work coming out of them.
Yeah, they can also. I mean, they've got with Spectre, you've got no option of an aggressive tri-lane. It's just not possible. She can't do that. She needs that safe lane protected farm. I could almost see Batrider going off lane, Shadow Fiend mid, Jakiro Spectre tri-lane, probably safe lane. If you thought you were going to be up against a Darkseer, you could probably also put something in the wow, okay, now Silencer picked up as well, so I haven't seen him actually played. I've seen him banned, but I haven't seen him doing a lot of work yet. In theory, he does tons of work. He's a strong carry with that orb effect. He's got all kinds of silence. Like, I mean, if you couldn't tell from the name. I don't know. So, have you seen him played at all? How do teams typically play him?
We've ran him a couple times actually ourselves, and we've seen some other professional teams. Empire has run him as a carry and a support. So I mean, it's essentially he's one of those heroes that can kind of work against a lot of things. He should do really well if a Shadow Fiend is mid. I think it might tie Pandemic's hands in putting the Batrider mid. Just actually. Wow.
Ooh,
yeah. It's a team fight central we got going on here. But yeah, he's very good when it's a 1v1 situation in my opinion, because his new nuke does so much damage.
Yeah, just really quickly, I need to reset my stream because I need to fix the delay. So the stream's gonna go down for a second. It's gonna come back up in 2 minutes because I'm gonna fix the delay here. The delay was apparently broken.
10 seconds remaining.
Just activate server.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Let's get it set up here. And Lashrak is the last pickup here from Phantoms. That's another hero who I was thinking about, you know, when I was saying, okay, what can you combo with the Shadow Demon? What kind of stun can you combo with that? Answer: Lashrak. Split Earth into the after the disruption is an excellent combo, and it looks like, are they going to go aggressive tri-lane? Looks like they are. So let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and introduce the players for Phantoms, and I'll leave you to introduce the players from Pandemic. So playing for Phantoms, Andrew Riley playing as carry, Gyrocopter, Hooders on the Leshrac, Juju Lucas playing Shadow Demon, Godmike PMP on the Darkseer, and last but not least we have Viking. So that is the solo mid player, so he should be seeing a solo mid silencer. Not rushing a bottle though, going Magic Stick first, so expecting the Batrider.
Yeah, well, on the dire side, we got Battleitician, I believe that's how you say it, on Spectre. We got a very nice Batrider set. Get a nice little look on that on Master Nook. He's got the new legendary set, looks really legit. Got Fosh on the Sand King. Got Tjor on the Jakiro, and we got Shadow Fiend, or 476 on the Shadow Fiend. It looks like we might be seeing a defensive tri-lane with the Shadow Fiend going off lane. Interesting.
I don't know what to say about it. I mean, that can work because he's going to be, Shadow Fiend is going to be against a solo. I guess they were expecting the aggressive try. I mean, this is an excellent aggressive tri-lane coming from Phantoms. Gyrocopter stun gets dropped down first, you get the disruption into the Split Earth, and then by the time you get that off, the missile comes in and stuns again, so it's a lot of chain stun as well, as some pretty solid AoE coming from the Leshrac as well as the Rocket Barrage. So I mean, definitely he's got some ability here to be a dangerous tri-lane, and seeing that tri-lane, maybe they're going to send the Shadow Fiend bottom, give him some room to farm him there. They've passed him a salve, so I have to see what items he gets after that. I don't really know. Like, how do you play solo offlane Shadow Fiend? How does that even work?
I mean, I'm guessing he's going to be against the Darkseer, which, I mean, I guess it's one of those you kind of get a few souls up and then you're able to last hit a bit, but I mean, Shadow Fiend's got very low armor and also has a very low health pool to start the game. I mean, it's just very, very dangerous. But I mean, you know, it could work out because he's gonna get the matchup that he wants.
Well, I mean, especially considering he's only got 305 base move speed. If it was like a Luna or something that had 320, or Chaos Knight again, like a 320 base move speed, Pugna also has that ridiculous base move speed. Maybe I could see it, or feel like I almost want him to like go boots first. Like actually, that's one thing. Batrider went boots first. I don't know what that's all about.
You know, I think the Batrider is actually going to go bottom. In all honesty, I believe the Shadow Fiend's going to take mid. I'm assuming he's going to go mid with his salve. He was actually given a salve. He's probably going to get like triple branch or something like that, and go bottom mid. And I think that we're going to be seeing the Batrider offlane because that makes a lot more sense with the boots.
I mean, it really does. I don't understand. I can't think of any other reason why you would go for boots first on a Batrider. It's not something that you need. It's not something super critical to the character. Alright, here we go. Batrider resumes the game. Batrider, yeah, he is rolling down towards that mid lane. He probably was thinking about defending the jungle, and Shadow Fiend is coming towards the mid. Okay, that does make more sense. Shadow Fiend starting with the Wraith Band, actually. Just get some last hitting damage. That is one of the problems of Shadow Fiend, is that he's got incredibly low base damage. Once he gets those souls up, it's okay.
30 seconds
But right now we might see a clash in the jungle. We've got the whole Phantoms team here. They're going to come out of the jungle looking. They're going to go right onto the Sand King first. He's going to get stunned up. Rocket Barrage, is he going to fall? One more right click is going to do it. It's going to be Gyrocopter with the right click, getting first blood. So good start for the Gyrocopter, and Sand King, unfortunately for him, does end up falling there in that team fight. So good rotation up from the Radiant. They also get to ward off the camp here, so definitely working out for them so far. Fortunately, I mean, I was going to say it does mean that the Batrider gets to ward off the camp, but the Batrider doesn't have wards, so never mind. I'll take it back. Is going to mean that mid lane, Shadow Fiend hopefully will be able to get a good creep block off and secure himself a little bit of lane control, but actually, is this going to be... See a Darkseer solo mid, and it's the Silencer heading to the bottom lane to facing up against the Batrider. I guess the Silencer really wants to play against that Batrider. Have you tried that matchup ever?
It actually goes pretty well in the Silencer's favor. Once he gets last word and his nuke up, it's just one of those things that when, you know, he's gonna have to use the tar to get it neutralized. And I mean, the Silencer does so much. I mean, just like look at the damage he's doing right now, just from a couple of right auto attacks.
He's going for glaives. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how to build Silencer. I've never like attempted a competitive Silencer. I've only played him, you know, in pubs, and I've always maxed Curse the Silent in Last Word. I mean, Curse the Silent doesn't work against Batrider with Napalm. You can just dispel it like it's not even there. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to see him maxing glaives as well as Last Word against this Batrider. Because Last Word, I mean, that's what makes Silencer so strong right now. Is just with that reduced damage as well as, you know, you get an instant 150 damage. He doesn't even have to use a spell, and whenever it finishes, he can't do anything. It's just so strong. Yeah, it's an extremely strong nuke, and it makes it hard. Up on the top lane, we're seeing the aggressive tri lane continuing to do pretty well, as Spectre has yet to get... No, she does have 3 last hits. I take it back. She has gotten a couple, but not nearly as much as the Spectre wants. Spectre wants every last hit on the map, and then she still doesn't have enough. Just has such a rough time getting that farm up early on in the game, and Gyrocopter doing really well. She's already up to 5 last hits. Darkseer also doing really well in the mid lane. Got a lot of last hits up on him. He is taking a lot of harass from the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend dropping the raises too, hitting them pretty solidly. So definitely top
doing
lane.
Oh yeah, top lane. You see it engaged. You see the ice path going down defensively. Rockets used, not going to be enough. Spectre is going to make it out alive, as is the Sand King. I mean, this tri lane, while it's got a lot of stun potential, and Jakiro is an excellent defensive tri lane hero with that ice path, one of the best defensive stuns in the game. Unfortunately, they've also got 2 melee heroes, and against 2 600 range heroes, they're going to have a lot of difficulty. I believe Shadow Fiend is 600. No, Shadow Fiend's 500. Still, against some massively ranged heroes with a lot of initiation range coming from that disruption, it's going to be hard for Spectre to come up to the lane and get those last hits. She's still back at 3. Darkseer roaming to the small camp, stacking it up, using that to get a little bit of extra farm up on this mid lane. using an illusion rune for that purpose, while leaving Shadow Fiend to get a couple more souls up. He is going to get plenty of souls this way. Should be able to continue getting these denies, these last hits, and it should definitely work out for him. And once he gets that base damage up, it's going to be very hard for Darkseer to stay in the lane.
Smoke mid.
Yeah, we do see smoke mid coming from the Radiant supports. Phantoms definitely like their smoke ganks early on. Going to see them hopefully be able to get behind the Shadow Fiend, get into position. Shadow Fiend is sitting very safely in the correct position though, behind the tower to the bottom right side, like behind this line. Maybe, I don't think he's got, yeah, he's got no wards, just, I guess, good missing call, I guess. He's coming a little bit forward, but, I mean, all it takes is one disruption. Shadow Demon's coming up, not going to be able to keep that up. Shadow Demon comes up, tries to get the, yeah, there's going to get the disruption off, going to have a splitter to follow it up. He's got the Ion Shell damage as well as a very dead Shadow Fiend. Goes down in the mid lane, and that's going to definitely slow down his farm. Shadow Fiend, probably one of the biggest snowball heroes in the game, so with that gank, it's going to set him back a good bit. Meantime, though, Spectre has been has not been able to get last hits up in the top lane because Andrew Riley has just been controlling this, using flat cannon to his absolute best possible ability. Bottom lane, did Batrider get chased out of lane? What happened to Batrider? He's in the jungle. He's coming up this way. He is level 4, but he's going to get burst down. No, he's going to be able to back off. Shadow Demon is able to get back, trying to bring down the Batrider. Not going to be able to do it. Gyrocopter comes in and finishes up the Jakiro. Invisibility is used by the Darkseer. That's a little cheeky. He's going to be able to walk invisible. Gets the Batrider with the invis. Now he's going onto the Sand King. Sand King stuns out, but misses the Darkseer. And I mean, I don't think you can sit there invisible as the Darkseer will just kill you with the Ion Shell. Shadow Fiend trying to do work. We're taking a lot of damage from the Ion Shell. That Darkseer should die to the tower. Yeah, he's going to go down there. So a little bit of going the way of the Shadow Fiend. Oh, can he get the right clicks off there? Raze misses. Not going to be able to get the Gyrocopter in the mid lane. But overall, I think that teamfight favors the Radiant by a lot.
Yeah, usually when you're diving past tier 1 at 5.5 minutes, you usually feel pretty confident about your team fight.
Yeah, obviously, and they did come away, I think, with 2 to 1, only one Radiant hero to go down, and that was Darkseer to the tower. No hero even got the extra gold for that, so we do see a solid 3k gold and experience lead already. I mean, it's what you'd expect. Silencer's just been refarming this bottom lane with 36 last hits already in 5 minutes, so that's that's more than 7 a minute so far. Has an int tread up already, and I'm guessing he's going to go for the 4-staff first. That is what you typically go for. He's got intelligence stolen. That means he got a kill against the Batrider. Did I miss something?
He got an assist. I actually don't know where the assist came from. Oh, I guess they must have gotten a kill on the Batrider.
Because that's the only way you can get 2. Oh, Darkseer chasing the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend trying to juke out of the way. Here comes a Batrider to help him out. Batrider not 6 yet, so not able to use the lasso. Darkseer just running circles around them with all of that speed. Haster on the Darkseer just doing so much work. He's going to get the Shadow Fiend. One more Ion Shell tick. Doing enough. He's going to right-click it for the end. Now he's chasing the Batrider. Gyrocopter in the meantime gets a kill up on Jakiro on the top lane, and now it's Batrider trying to survive against this Darkseer. The question is tower going to get the kill here? No, it's not going to. Going to be able to bottle up and get out. Meantime, top lane seeing more problems for the dire tri-lane. Spectre is surviving, has 3 points into dispersion already just to keep herself alive. 2 points into the dagger, not maxing that one as she doesn't have the mana, doesn't have the levels. Does have a ring of health up, so she's not doing that bad. I mean, she's not optimal, but getting some items. What kind of build do you go on Spectre these days?
I mean, it all depends, in all honesty. Like, there's multiple. There's always the Radiance into, you know, Manta and Heart, or there's also the other type of thing where you go into Diffusal with Manta, which is usually what most people pick up, unless you're getting ridiculous farm, just because it helps shut down the other team. But that's the thing about Spectre, is when you get shut down, it's really difficult to come back, just because she requires so much.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier during the draft, it is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, carries in the game. That's just flat fact. Just, I mean, she's got amazing stats. She's got extremely tanky from dispersion. She does a lot of pure damage with Desolate. Her ultimate allows her global mobility.
Get off my lawn!
And she's got great synergy with a lot of the strong carry items. But, I mean, It just takes so long to get there. It's not like an anti-mage with Battle Fury in the jungle. Oh, Gyrocopter's alone. We see Bat Rider coming in. Is he level 6? This question, no, he's level 4. Gyrocopter does have an ult though, and he's going to hit Spectre with his ultimate. Looks like he will bring Spectre down here. Spectre trying to survive, running away. He'll get knocked back. Spectre survives. Gyrocopter goes down, which is what they wanted to happen there. Now it looks like the rest of the range supports want to come in and have a second word to say about it though. Maybe looking to get the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend also having rotated up towards that top lane. 1,000 gold up, so he does have his treads if he wants them. It's doing a little bit better than some of the other Shadow Fiends I've cast in the recent history. Sand King in the mid lane trying to get some levels up. Sand King luckily has boots, so this is not a 10-minute bootless Sand King. But, I mean, Sand King is another one of those support heroes, kind of like Earthshaker. It's not that his problem, oh, he's going to get initiated on by the dire supports. Unfortunately, I don't know if those Radiant supports know that there's a Shadow Fiend right there. Shadow Fiend rotates in. Sand King get a stun off? No, he can't. Shadow Fiend going to try to get something in, but it's not going to be enough. I heard a Spectre ultimate. I don't know why there's a Spectre ultimate. Gyrocopter goes in onto the Spectre. He's trying to stay alive and do enough damage to the Spectre to kill her off. Is it going to be enough? You know, is going to definitely finish off the Bat Rider. Gets a Tango, so should be able to survive. Yeah, he's going to survive also. So Bat Rider ends up dying. Gyrocopter 1v2. Too strong. I mean, I think it's just the fact that he's got like a 12 level advantage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Spectre goes back to farming, so she does have that Ring of Health, so she's got a little bit of lane staying power. So might be able to stay in this lane. If she's sitting on that Ring of Health, it makes me think that she wants to go Vanguard, which is like super old school. I don't know if anyone except for Darkseer builds Vanguard anymore.
Not really anybody builds Vanguard. It doesn't bring that much to the table.
I mean, especially with Lifestealer so popular, and Vanguard basically works straight into his hands, giving you more HP to deal more feast damage. I don't know. Gonna see a Gyrocopter ultimate used just to take out the Spectre, and it looks like it will be enough, and more than enough. Almost half kills the Sand King in the meantime. Sand King did not stun there. I'm kind of surprised by that. I feel like he could have stunned in there and at least slowed down the Gyrocopter. Even if he suicided, he would have kept the Spectre alive. Meantime, in the mid lane, we see Darkseer getting a kill onto the Shadow Fiend. Now, Sand King does TP into the mid lane, but he's not going to be able to do anything with Shadow Fiend dead. And it's just really starting to look unfortunate for the Dire.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
12-3. Got a 5k gold lead and similar experience lead. I mean, it's just going to get more and more.
Force staff up on silencer.
Yeah, I mean, that's the standard item for him, right? I mean, the way I've always played him is Force Staff into Atos into Sheepstick. If you're carrying, gets him a little bit of tank, gets him some mobility, gets him a slow. Spectre uses the ult, trying to get away. No, just uses the ult again for no particular reason apparently. Maybe just for a little bit of extra damage. Trying to bring down the Gyrocopter, but it's not going to be enough. Global Silence used, and that's going to shut down the Spectre. Spectre falls. Now it's Bat Rider trying to get away, going to go downhill, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to get dropped. Unfortunately, yeah, he was able to heal up in the disruption with Tranquil Boots. Wasn't enough to save him though. I don't know if that was on purpose, but interesting mechanic there. You still heal while you're disrupted or astral imprisoned. Shadow Fiend trying to get the farm tree on the top lane. He does have treads up, so, and also a Wraith Band, but it doesn't look like he's going to have the early Shadow Blade that he wants.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I assume that's what you typically want from a Shadow Fiend. They are pushing out the top lane pretty heavily though. They've got Shakiro here. What's Shakiro doing? Shakiro is maxing Ice Path with 2 points in Dual Breath, so not getting the Liquid Fire like which is my favorite build. But I mean, it makes sense in this case. You need that AoE damage for this very teamfight oriented game.
Yeah, usually you want to get one in the Liquid Fire though, just because it helps push the lane whenever you need to. Like one early level in it's never too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally a big fan of this spell, not because of the damage, but because of the attack speed slow. In a gigantic area of effect, I think it's incredibly effective in that regard. Meantime, Spectre has rotated to the bottom lane. Got 1k gold up, so we will, in the very near future, see what she's decided to go for. Picks up the Bit Booster, we'll know it's a Vanguard. Meantime, top tower gonna get brought down. Gyrocopter conveniently getting the last hit there. Got Drum, Aquila, Phase up on him so far, so Going for a lot of early game items, getting a lot of power in that early game positioning. Now they're going to rotate back towards this mid lane. They are spotted out by a Dire ward. Dire, do you know that they're coming? Heroes manages to get out. Hero no boots yet. Man, I feel sorry for that guy. Only level 5 too. It's just really unfortunate. Fat Rider continuing to farm up jungle. He is finally level 7, but nowhere near the 9-minute blink dagger you were talking about.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, he really got shut down by that silencer bottom lane. It's just, you know, silence is a very, very good hero, and especially for shutting down heroes like that. Because if you don't get that early kill on him, it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, especially since the silencer continues to steal your mana and your intelligence. I remember playing against the silencer once as a tiny, and I didn't, at the end of the game, I just did not actually have enough mana to cast any of my spells. It was really bad. You see a massive gank coming from the Radiant. You're going to see smoke used in an attempt to get out. I don't think it's going to save the Spectre. She's going to get disrupted up. Is definitely going to die. Might be able to throw. No, the Chainstone coming in so far. We're going to see a dagger across. Going down through. Might be able to get away here. But no, actually just going to get stuck up on top of the cliff, vacuumed back down, and definitely brought down. I don't think there's any way she's going to survive this. Yeah, ends up going down. So this Spectre's third death, 0-3, and that's not the kind of start you need on a Spectre.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, it's kind of like a sign of the metagame shift away from that Port Protect 1 and towards this roaming 5-man ganking from very early on. I mean, have you noticed that across recent times?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that shifted as, I mean, if, you know, the DK let's all protect burning strat has slowly disintegrated out. And I mean, it's just, you know, it's one of those things like that's just the shift of the way the game's going. And I really enjoy it a lot more because it makes it to where it's more 5-man. Because, I mean, look at this. You've got Phantoms. I'm pretty sure most of the game, this Lesh and Shadow Demon have been together the entire time helping out the other 3 solo heroes. And it's just really cool seeing a bunch of the smoke ganks and, you know, communication coming out from both sides.
Yeah, it's significantly more exciting to watch. I mean, I know Luminous as a caster just goes absolutely crazy watching Chinese farm fests where there's only 5 kills in 70 minutes. But personally, it's not my cup of tea. Spectre is, by the way, going for that Vanguard, and she has it. But a 15-minute Vanguard with no boots is not going to do a lot, unfortunately. As the second to last two tower goes down on the mid lane. Shadow tries to push out the top lane, but he needs to TP out right now. He's going to attempt it. Probably not going to get it, though. Darkseer's here. Oh, there's a little juking in the trees. He's going to find a spot. Is he going to get back and down? No, he's not. Shadow Fiend does manage to get out there. It's pretty juking there. He has been clearing out stacks in this jungle, so he's gotten some farm up on the SF. He's getting close. He's about 650 gold shy of a relatively early Shadow Blade. He's got some levels too. 95 last hits in 16 minutes. That's definitely not bad, considering the hard time he had mid and that he's 0-3.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing some pretty good teamwork coming out of Pandemic. I really think, in all honesty, their draft is really just what's questionable about the game. I feel like, you know, back to the drawing board a little bit, trying to make sure that, you know, got good counters and good heroes, and Phantom's just got a couple, you know, ever since that first kill, top, it's just, you know, they've kept that momentum since the beginning of the game.
And they've played almost flawlessly in that regard, making sure that the heroes aren't out of position, aren't getting picked off, because, of course, once you do get a little bit of a lead, you got to make sure you don't give it away, because every kill means more when you've got a level advantage. And so your Bat Rider wants to come in. Can he get a pickup on the Leshrac, bring him up onto the high ground? There's no one there waiting, though. Leshrac should be able to get away as a result. I don't know what happened to his Bat Rider. He ran way back towards the mid lane. He's got a missile after him, but now Sand King's going to whiff a stun. And it looks like the Radiant should be able to back off with no problem. Vacuum back. Last word gets dropped on Jakiro. That should definitely kill him. But opens up the Ice Path. Shadow Fiend going to come in, try to get an ult off. No, doesn't even take the ult. Had possibly already got a kill on the Leshrac, trying to kill this Darkseer. So tanky, though. And he's got all that move speed. Stun's going to come in. Looks like they'll be able to get... Yeah, there's the Gyrocopter, second kill. So 2 for 2 so far. Rax is defended. This is exactly what Pandemic needs. Now it looks like Silencer going to work. Does get a kill, a double kill, but he's going to fall in the end. Shadow Demon falls in. This is definitely a little greedy here. Shadow Fiend with the Shadow Blade coming back in. Gonna get the kill, but this could be a Rampage right here with one more right click. No, it's going to be Jakiro and blocking off the Rampage instead. I mean, you're talking before about them maintaining momentum, but that's definitely not maintaining momentum.
That's exactly what Pandemic needed to put themselves back in this game. Like, if you pull up, let's see, yeah, XP dropped about 4 or 5,000. And the gold dropped about 2,000, but it's one of those things that, I mean, that's exactly what they needed. And that's the thing about Dota. I mean, that's just what happens. Anybody can bounce back if you get a good team fight, you play a little sloppy, and that's just what happens. So, it was very well played by Pandemic, and it's like I said earlier, they used their teamwork. I mean, Shadow Fiend just took over the CS lead, so, I mean, it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Absolutely. I'm trying to decide which of the heroes in this game is the fat lady. None of them are. I don't think there's actually any female. Spectre is technically, but she's like not even corporeal, so I don't think you could call her a fat lady.
I don't even know if she could really sing if you really think about it,
I can't even understand any of her vocal work. It was probably the easiest job that vocal worker ever had coming in that day. It was like, just mutter something gibberish into the microphone and see what happens. From the top lane, we're seeing Shadow Fiend continuing to farm. I mean, that team fight just went so well for him. He's up to 2,100 gold after finishing a Shadow Blade as well. Probably going for BKB first and then into lifesteal, I'm guessing, is probably the plan. And I mean, BKB will shut down everything except the Global Silence, which Global Silence will get removed if you BKB after it. But if you use the Global Silence during BKB, the silence will still go through. Correct?
Yes. And then Radavatos pipe and mech all up on Radiant side.
So he did go for the Atos. I like it. That is one of my favorite ways to build Silencer. That slow is pretty important. He needs the HP, but it looks like the Dire know what's going on. Bad Rider coming down, peeking his head down, gonna pick somebody up. No, doesn't pick anybody up. The Silence is used. He's probably gonna finish off Rose before the Silence ends and then pick up the Aegis really quickly. No, Bad Rider gets the Aegis. Sand King channels the... No, does not manage to channel the ultimate. Dies first. Shadow Fiend does not go down, gets the ultimate off. He's low health, backing off. No one on the Radiant dead yet. Bad Rider looks like he'll go down, but I think he's got an Aegis. Spectre taking a lot of damage here. Not able to do work, as she does have a little bit of tankiness, but not enough to get the job done. Now Bad Rider on the run, back foot, does have an Aegis, so I mean he's fine. And has a Blink Dagger too. He managed to get a Blink Dagger off the back of that team fight up on the top racks.
Top tower is under attack.
So, on the whole, I guess it went okay for the Radiant. They did lose the Aegis, but they didn't lose any heroes. I think they definitely could have with a massive Shadow Fiend ultimate. Shadow Fiend trying to get out now. He's just going to TP out, find a little pocket of fog. Darkseer not going to get there in time. So gotta see Spectre start doing some work though. 0-5. It's a really big problem. So then, let's see. So I guess I don't know what the smoke was used there for, but Bat Rider is smoked up, headed up towards the top lane, kind of defensively around the Shadow Fiend and the Spectre, who are now farming together. Shadow Fiend, 3,000 gold. I wonder what he's saving for. What do you save for that takes 3,000 gold? Is he just wanted to buy his BKB in one lump?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you want to have it for, the element of surprise, kind of be like, oh, look, he's got BKB. I mean, I know a lot of people do that. Sometimes they'll go straight Necro 3 and stuff like that. So I'm assuming he'll go BKB, because if he gets a BKB up, he becomes untouchable for 9 seconds. So that would be fantastic for him and his team, because he is definitely their damage that's coming out right now.
Yeah, he's the only hero on their team who's really, like, you look at levels, he's level 14. The next one on their team is level 10, Sand King. And Spectre's down there at level 10 also. And poor Jakiro is level 8. Seeing Shadow Fiend will be able to TP out safely. Gyrocopter wasn't able to get there. Jump Charge was used for that last Jump Charge. Now Gyrocopter does have a Yasha up, and he's got an Ogre Club. So I want that to be a Sanjin Yasha, but it's probably a BKB.
Yeah, that's a very common build going, getting an early Yasha as well as shifting over the BKB, because, I mean, just like the other team, the BKB is pretty solid. I mean, except, they do have the Bat Rider, but it's only one skill that goes through BKB, so, and that'll dispel a lot of stuff once he gets that up.
Yeah, and the BKB is pretty important for dodging the Sand King ultimate, Shakira ultimate, everything. Pipe gets used, they ought to be able to come take this tower. The Dire are not in position to defend this. Barrage is not able to do anything by himself, does have an Aegis, so he's able to play a little bit crazy. Curse of the Silent was used and immediately dispelled. Using the Flame Break to try and knock back the Gyrocopter, not going to be enough. Using that, it might have been a chance to go in on the Leshrac, but doesn't have the force set to bring himself back. Blink Dagger to go in. If he gets killed while Lasso's up, it just kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, you also got a Blink Dagger up on Sand King now as well.
That's massive. That's actually really important. Only the level 1 ultimate though needs that level 11 kind of badly. Spectre going to come mid just to try and get some more farm. It does have Treads finished now, so starting to get a little bit, but 23 minutes. Treads Vanguard is just not enough to be able to have any kind of relevance in this game. Top lane push continues. Gyrocopter ultimate used just to push back the Dire away from the tower. They ought to get the last hit, finish the tower up here. There they will. Silencer getting that one. Oh, Sun goes in onto the Darkseer. He's going to get knocked back as well, but there's no chance to get the Lasso off, as he will be able to haste himself away. And now the Radiant will move back all together as a group, and they should be fine here. Or they're going to stay together. No, they're going to stay. Try and get the racks down the bottom lane. Spectre is farming it up in the meantime. Waiting. She has an ult to go back in. Team fight breaks out. Bad Rider gets pushed back, not able to come in. He's going to get... Oh, if he gets burst down, it's going to definitely damage the Dire team fight. He will fall right here. He's got an Aegis. What am I kidding? Shadow Fiend wants to come in. He's getting stunned up. He needs to start right-clicking. He needs to pop the BKB and go in. He's going to come up. Invis is up. This could be a massive ultimate. Immediately almost drops the Leshrac. Now he sees the Darkseer as well as the Shadow Fiend. A triple kill on the Shadow Fiend. Massive. Gyrocopter as well. Stun onto the Silencer. Now this could be a wipe. Ultra kill. Didn't even lose one. Talk about team fight here.
Is under attack.
All that goes back to that Aegis steal. That Aegis steal was so huge for Batrider because they dropped everything that they had on him. He came back alive, and that team fight just completely turned around for the Blink Dagger on both SK as well as Batrider. I mean, it was fantastic play coming out of Pandemic.
Yeah, definitely pulling a massive save there. Batrider coming down to the bottom lane now. He's going to go ahead and drop a ward up. Use this time to use to farm out the enemy jungle, which is of course very good to do. That's what your enemy wants to do. Right after a lost team fight like that, they want to come, go back into the jungle and get some farm up. But now, there's nothing in the jungle to farm. Spectre continuing to get that farm up, 900 gold and no other item up on her, so she is going to need something in the near future. I guess probably Diffusal Blade is the best thing she can go for. Or maybe a Yasha, just something. Oh, she's going to get ganked though. Gyrocopter's here. Gyrocopter can maybe get this solo kill off. No, not going to chase it. Drops a missile and runs back away. Doesn't know where the rest of the Dire team is. Bottom lane, we're going to see Silencer getting ganked, or is he? Looks like Batrider might be the one taking the gank. No, Silencer is going to make it off with low health, as is Batrider. Shadow Fiend up to 2k gold. 8-3, definitely coming back from 0-3. But here comes the rest of the Radiant team. Shadow Fiend needs to get out now. BKB teleport might be his last option here, as the rest of the Radiant team are in position except for Gyrocopter. Pings are going down. Shadow Fiend wants to go in. I don't know if this is the right decision. He's got the ultimate. He's just going to drop it on top of the Silencer. Burst Silencer should get burst down here. No, Force Staff out quickly. He's going to try and TP away in the depths of the jungle. Not going to be able to. He's going to hold the Batrider. Now it looks like Spectre TP's in, gets the Leshrac as well, so 2 kills going the way of the Dire. And this is starting to look like a turnaround.
Yeah, that's one of those things, and it's like I said, this game favors, the later the game goes, it obviously favors Pandemic. They're built for a later game, later style game. I mean, it's gonna be, I think Phantoms they're on a ticking time bomb. They're gonna need to step up and make a push. But I mean, at the same time, you got the Gyro, who always does a lot of damage, but Spectre's still really far from being very useful, and, they gotta get themselves a good pick off if they want to be able to push in and take a Rax.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Spectre, if she does get going here, looks like she's going for the Yasha or the Diffusal Blade, one of those two. If she gets it up, she's gonna be really freaking scary. I mean, she only really needs 1 or 2 items before she's able to contribute a lot. But once she does get decked out, she's gonna be completely unstoppable. I mean, Gyrocopter, maybe if he gets a Divine, is gonna be able to match her. But even then, he's just going to damage himself as much as he's
Radiant's
damaging
top
her.
tower is under attack.
Spectre getting ganked though on the bottom lane. We see the vacuum backwards. Silencer here as well. Last word used. And that should be a dead Spectre.
That's actually really what Phantoms needed, in all honesty. They needed that good old turnaround to be able to, you know, reset their mindset back in the game. Make sure that they, you know, they were in the lead at one time, so. But it is starting to even out and become a lot more even game.
Yeah, experience is even. Gold is still massively in Phantom's favor. Smoke up, looking to find this gyrocopter in the jungle. Holy crap, this gyrocopter is fast. 425 move speed. Without phase turned on. Are they going to be able to find him is the question. I think they do. They've got the Bat ultimate, jumps, blinks in. You got the Sand King ultimate here as well. So you've definitely got a kill here. Shadow Fiend going to be able to burst him down, Sand King getting the last hit. So with that kill, they might be able to take this tier 2 tower. As Spectre will be able to ult in as soon as she resurrects in 5 seconds. Tower gonna get sieged. There is a glyph that is available, and the rest of the Radiant is coming into position, but Gyrocopter is really absolutely necessary for them to be able to take that team fight. That ultimate from Gyrocopter absolutely important to defending and really doing anything for the Radiant.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the funniest things we just saw is literally you got you know, you got Phantoms who picks off the Spectre. It's like, oh, we're coming back in this, and then all of a sudden the gyro drops, and you're just like, oh, back to square one.
Yeah, it does, and it, like, and the experience is tipping in the way of the Dire, as you can see. The Radiant supports, especially this Leshrac and the Shadow Demon, have such a hard time. I mean, they've got the items, they've got an Arcane Boot, but he's level 9. Leshrac is level 11. He's getting close to a BKB, but he's level 11. And a BKB, to keep you from getting magic damage, doesn't help if you only have 1k health. And Shadow Fiend just right-clicks you down in like 3 attacks. I say SK, I think I'm in SF. Yeah, pings are going either way. It looks like the whole Radiant team is here. Around the Roche pit, it will be up in about a minute, so Phantom's doing exactly the right thing, getting control. They don't have the vision of that ward up on the top ground. We have a, who's the gem up on? Gem is up on the Leshrac, so making sure they take out all of the wards. Very good thing to do before Roshan comes back up, and here's Roshan. What do you know? They're getting into position. The question is, do they want to contend the Roshan fight again? Or do they want to split push? Bad Rider up on the top lane, needs a TP back now. He is TPing back. Seeing Phantoms going in, starting to right click down, doing the work against Roshan. Gyrocopter has that damage. Roshan already at 2/3 health, dropping faster, down at half health, just taking so much damage from this rocket barrage and the Silencer just whacking. Silencer doing so much damage. Probably gonna drop before Pandemic can even get there. Yeah. Roshan's dead.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
That's going to make this next base push absolutely different than the ones prior to this one.
Yeah, I mean that Roche, I mean them not getting Aegis on the last time is the only reason they didn't get Rax last time. Because if that Bat Rider would have not come back to life, we could have been seeing a completely different shift in that last team fight.
Yeah, if the Gyrocopter or the Silencer had.
Yeah, it just, I mean, you know, all that right click coming back out. And I think that, you know, that's the whole thing, is they're putting on the Silencer, because the Silencer is hitting like a truck right now.
Yeah, now keep in mind that Shadow Fiend does have a Manta-style Shadow Blade and a BKB. He's pretty big. They're giving pings up. I don't think they had vision of the smoke up. I guess they do. Spectre's going to stay here. Dire roaming around smoked, trying to find the Radiant, but the Radiant are all in 5. I don't know if this is going to work. Might catch them by surprise. They might be able to pick off an Aegis, but Silencer has a double damager. This is not a good idea. Hitting like a truck might be an understatement in this case. He's currently hitting for over 300 damage per attack, not counting his orb damage, which is pure, by the way. Going up on the top racks. Top racks push is going down. The Dire have vision now underneath that ward, but I don't know what they're going to be able to do about it with an Aegis on the Silencer. I mean, he's just going to... Excuse me. Fuse. Comes an Ice Path. White King doesn't even slow down, keeps right-clicking. Sand King needs to get into position for an ultimate. Gyrocopter might drop off his ultimate anytime as well. That thing has such a low cooldown. Missile gets dropped. Gonna go hit the Batrider. Batrider trying to be in position, isn't gonna be able to. Batrider has enough for a Force Staff, hasn't spent it yet. I wonder what he's waiting for.
Probably saved for buyback at this point.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty critical. Shadow Fiend getting some right clicks off, but he's gonna have to back off. 3-man Ice Path. Might be old enough to set up. No, Shadow Fiend's gonna go into the back. Batrider blinks in, but he's gonna immediately get silenced. Beginning gets used. Here comes the Shadow Fiend, ultimately gonna hit on a 3, but the wall is up and the damage is getting dropped back. It's not enough. The mic tight. The Max Speed will live. Sand King jumps in with a massive ultimate. Batrider finishes off the left side, but Gyrocopter right clicks into too much, finishes off the Sand King. And now there's no one left. Spectre's gonna fall. No, Batrider's gonna fall. Batrider buys back immediately. Spectre's up, but the Rax is down. The damage is done, and only a support Leshrac goes down. Massive win for the Radiant there. Didn't even lose the Aegis on Silencer.
Yeah, it was a really good team fight from both sides because you saw the good spacing from Pandemic as well. I mean, it was just, but I mean overall, you know, that's, you know, Phantoms did what they needed to do there. Ended up getting the racks, and that's all they went for. So I'm hoping that we see another push come out of them because I feel like, I mean, as I said before, it still is a ticking time bomb. Regardless of how slow Spectre is, once she gets there, 2 people on top of that Shadow Fiend hit, it's going to be strong. Got bottom tower going down.
Shadow Fiend is there, making sure he right-clicks away that one. Batrider's here as well, with the Shadow Fiend, making sure that it's a little bit harder to gank him. They are going to send out 2 or 3 people there now, but, I mean, Shadow Fiend's kind of hard to catch. He's got a BKB, and a Shadow Blade. They're going to go in. He's just going to Manta up and immediately get out. TP should be fine. Spectre
is that what you call man mode?
Yeah. Not really. I don't think that's man mode. Man mode is when you turn on the BKB and go in on the Gyrocopter.
I was a little scared he was about to pull it. I was like, oh no, that we might be seeing I guess he's, oh no,
that would be a throw.
He bought a crit, so.
The Shadow Fiend?
Yeah, crits up on Shadow Fiend.
Now he just needs some life steal, and he should be able to stand and deliver in team fights a lot better. Spectre does have a Diffusal Blade up. Now she just needs a heart. And
Team and Edge on Gyro.
Manta style. Oh gosh, that's some damage. Going for the MKB, I assume. Or maybe I'm not going to discount the Divine. It's a possibility. Might need it if Spectre gets any bigger. Seeing some Spectre did contribute quite substantially to that last team fight. Tower just getting right-clicked down so fast by the Gyrocopter. There goes the tower. Shadow Fiend backing off, just taking too much harass. Ice Path's going to get dropped, but it's not going to do enough damage. Sand King has the ultimate up, hasn't decided to start channeling it yet. There's the ultimate, but the barracks goes down. Melee Rax is down. Looks like we want to see a chase from the Dire, but they're not able to get into position for it. Radiant are just going to be able to get out for free. Spectre's going to continue farming though. Oh, mid lane, Shadow Fiend might get cut out. Atos used on him, Mantis gets it out of it, and then he's able to invis away. Batrider's the one in trouble though. He's just going to firefly right up over the edge. No big deal. He's going to get stunned, but it's okay. He'll be fine. Mid lane push, here comes the massive Sand King ultimate. Shadow Fiend coming in for the ultimate right now. One dead already. Silencer coming back. Aegis is popped. Batrider and Zero are down though. Here comes the Silencer back to life. Shadow Fiend goes down, dies very in there. Ultra kill on that wall. There it is. Rampage for the freaking wall. Holy crud wall. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that was freaking huge. Like, in all honesty, that right there, if they would have dropped the Darkseer, we would have been looking at a completely different fight. Darkseer getting that vacuum and wall off ended up winning in that team fight single-handedly. I mean, there's just so much damage coming out from the Shadow Fiend on himself. Like, I mean, Shadow Fiend killed himself. I mean, that's basically what went down.
Yeah, absolutely. Thinking's gonna die here to last word damage. Yep. And now this is probably GG now that that happens. I mean, Scepter Darkseer. I mean, that's what I was saying in the draft. You can't just let this guy through. You get that stick up and those 140% damage illusions. My gosh, it's so strong. Team wipe for the Radiant. Rampage actually for the Darkseer. I mean, team fight for the Darkseer. What am I talking about? Like, forget, he doesn't even need a team. Just needs a vacuum and a wall. He's got 3,200 gold now, so probably gonna go like what? Heart, Shivas. He's gonna get found by a Batrider though. I don't think Batrider can really do anything in this situation. He's gonna ult him. Oh, he's gonna bring him up on top of the cliff. Just got a little cheekily here. I think it's gonna save him though. Here comes the rest of the Radiant team. This might cost Batrider his life. Darkseer's not gonna be able to get out, but Batrider might die, which isn't a good thing. He'll be able to blink away and fine. He's going to eat his way through with the trees, vacuum cooldowns. Let's try Split Earth helping out. No? Yeah, there he goes. Split Earth going to get him way up. And now the wall's back up again. That's probably what Batrider needs to do. Batrider needs to get that ultimate off on the Darkseer. Is there any other way they can really win that team fight? I mean, Darkseer ultimate is probably the most important part of the Radiance team fight.
Yeah, I mean their carries and such are kind of lasting. I mean they had a fantastic start. The Sand King was a beautiful initiation. I mean that's what you ask for, is you wind up the ult, and I mean he nailed it. It was very, very well done. But got that pipe off as soon as the thing came off, and then the Darkseer wall just did so much damage. Yeah,
and that pipe's on the Darkseer as well. I mean they just really need to shut him down. They almost need to pick him off before they take these team fights. They just need the Batrider to just, even if he just holds even if he just dies, as long as he disables Darkseer long enough for Shadow Fiend to ult and Sand King to ult, I think that might be enough for the Dire to win it out. If you know what I mean. I mean, TV back in. Now have Boots of Travel up on the Darkseer. Headed back in, has a gem up as well, so Shadow Fiend will not be able to invis in. Sand King backing off. This is the last racks here. Pipe gets used. They're going uphill. Glyph gets used though, so they'll have to back off and maybe wait for a fight. Batrider sitting in the background should be able to get out here. Finding no. He's gonna find the Silencer. Silencer gets picked up, but it's not gonna be enough. Sand King grabs a ton with his ultimate while doing a ton of work here. Shadow Fiend sitting on top of the wall and just getting killed by his own illusion. Darkseer gets another kill, buys back to Darkseer as well, but it may not be enough. Silencer getting killed now, no Aegis to help him out. Shadow Fiend buys back as well. Disruption keeping the Shadow Demon alive for now. He's running away, trying to get out. Meantime, we see another completely different fight going on. Batrider picking off the Gyrocopter and Shadow Fiend getting the Leshrac, so another win by the Dire. Defense is successful. I don't know how it happened though.
It's like I told you, it was that same. It was the Sand King. Fosh got a fantastic, he got a fantastic thing off on top of the Shadow Demon, and the Lesh dropped her very fast, did a lot of damage. BKBs were a little bit slow coming off on Phantom's side. I mean, it was an excellent one team fight by the Dire side. Pandemic is really showing. I mean, that Shadow Fiend is hitting very, very hard right now.
Yeah, he's very strong. He's got 300. Oh god, he's got a double damage too. I mean, he's gonna be able to take Roche in like less than a couple seconds here, as long as Batrider takes. Look at that. That's so painful. He's hitting for 400 damage right now, almost 500. Pings are going down, but it's not gonna matter. He's gonna pick up the Aegis and get done before like Radiant have time to even like tie their shoes. Defense, is it? Let's see here. Spectre check. Bought something. It is a Yasha. So Spectre's got a Diffusal Yasha up, going for that Manta Diffusal you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, which I mean I think is really good, especially for the way they have up, just for the confusion side of things. Because I mean at this point they need to be able to counter push lanes. They need to be able to do that kind of stuff. Because I mean they're down 2 racks and they're hurting a lot. But I mean there's a very good possibility they could come back and pull this out.
I mean, they've got, that's what we said earlier, is that the Spectre can win late games. What she does, she's really freaking strong as the game gets later and later. Because she can be everywhere at once. I mean, I don't know if you've ever played against an ultra late game Spectre where she had an Aegis and Boots of Travel, where you killed her once and she came back to life with an Aegis, then you killed her again and she just bought back and TP'd straight in with her ultimate.
The game wasn't over by then?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, right, because it takes like 2.5 hours to kill a Spectre in the first place. Especially when she gets a hard up. Only issue though is she gets more and more stats. The Darkseer illusions get stronger and stronger.
MKB on Gyro.
Yeah, he's been sitting on the whatever item, the Demon Edge, for a while. Finally finishing off. He's lost a couple fights, so that's why he hasn't finished it up earlier. So his item regression was slowed down a little bit. I mean, he does still have 200 last hits, but gonna head up to the top lane, smoked up, looking for an opportunity to get a pick off that will allow them to take this mid tower. But Dire playing extremely well, hiding right inside their base on the safe side of their tower, where the Radiant cannot get in with the smoke gang. Gonna send Leshrac out solo. I don't know if that's bait or if that's just scouting. Now they're gonna come in the backside, smoke in the back way. Gonna find Shadow Fiend, try to pick him off, but Shadow Fiend's got too much move speed, makes it out in time, and so that's a little bit of a lot of wasted time.
No, I mean, it really wasn't that much of a waste of time in all honesty. If they found one pick off, they could have easily taken the game. I mean, that's one of the things, is that them taking out the Shadow Fiend is going to be definitely key, and they got the sheep up on silencer, so, you know, that would have been a going for broke
so hard. He hits for like almost 300 right now, including his glaives. No, I think it's over. I think it's over 300.
Yeah, it's over 300. It's like 350, 400.
It's a lot.
But you also got Shadow Fiend, who's hitting for almost 350.
And he's got a Daedalus crit with. And the last thing he needs is some lifesteal, and he's gonna have to get rid of an Aegis before he does that. Though I forgot, Shadow Fiend has an Aegis. Here comes the pipe up. Phantom's coming in. There's no glyph this time. He's gonna come off cooldown in 2 minutes. That might not be enough. Vacuum back onto the Shadow Fiend. They pick him off. He'll have an Aegis. Probably was expected to die like that. Spectre comes in and ults, and she's taking down this Darkseer. Almost. Darkseer does manage to just barely squeak away. So no contest.
Textbook play coming out of Phantoms, in all honesty. Like, they took the Aegis down, that's exactly what they wanted, and then they backed out. It was like, I mean, that's one of the reasons I think they're probably, you know, the #1 team right now, is just due to the fact of most teams would have gone in on that, but if any other team would have gone in on that, you probably would have gotten wiped and possibly, you know, might have even lost a Rax. And that was very, very well played on their part, knowing when to get out.
Yeah, it was very ordered retreat too. They all moved out at the same time. No one was left. No pickoffs, which is very surprising. Like, none of these Phantom's been very, very disciplined about moving as a group, being together in their team fights, and it's definitely something good we can say. Definitely been doing very well. Now that the Aegis is down, Shadow Fiend just buys a TP scroll. Next level 4 item. More continued item check here. We're gonna see. Let's see here. She's still on the Bat Rider, as that was the 3rd Roche. We see there's the mech on Jakiro, but that's nothing new, anything interesting. Let's see here.
Yeah, they passed the cheese over to Shadow Fiend. I figured that they would.
Yeah, they definitely. They rely on him in this team fight. Leshrac is no closer to his BKB. Unsurprisingly, he hasn't had the best time in these team fights. He's picked up a Bracer just for more HP, up to 1200, but he's still level 13. Having a lot of difficulty there. They're going to smoke up on the bottom lane, which I'm not surprised at all. Going to roll up with this creep wave, maybe try and pick off the rest of the tower. And Shadow Fiend standing here. If they can get a jump on him, that could be majorly important. He's just bursting down the creep wave, but here comes a jump forward. There's the sheep. There's the vacuum back. Stun up as well. This is a no. Gets off the cheese in time, and now here comes a massive Sand King ultimate, but the pipe gets in time. No, I did. Shadow Fiend gets a kill on the Leshrac with Darkseer, and Derek got to bring on the Shadow Fiend and Jakiro. With that, Shadow Fiend dead. Does he have 5x is the question? No. No, he does not. That's going to be a Rax at least, if not the mid-Rax as well. Spectre might not be able to do enough at this point in the game. Might not be farmed enough. Stun is going to miss from the Sand King. Just to slow down the creeps. And now it's probably going to be a turn to the mid-Rax. Right clicks coming from the Gyrocopter, coming from the Silencer. Pull back onto the Sand King. He's going to get dropped as well. Spectre getting a little low. She's able to back out for now. Does finish off the Silencer before she dies, though. No, actually, she's going to stay alive. She's got a lot of life left to give. Mech from the Darkseer keeping the Radiant alive. They may have to back out now, as Spectre is maybe just a little too strong. Gets disrupted just to slow down the Bat Rider. Bat Rider trying to do some work here. to get up into position, get a blink off. He has his ultimate, but he's not going to be able to pick anybody off. GG's out, and that's one more tier 3 tower down. And the ranged racks, also a kill on the Shadow Fiend. So a fairly good fight for the Radiant. It is continuing their advantage. You can see the experience graph spiking up as they finally finished off that Shadow Fiend. Just so much experience. Leshrac gained actually Leshrac didn't gain a level, but he's getting closer to the BKB, which is important. Spectre up to 2k gold though. Get the Mantis tile up in the near future. Only about 900 gold away from that. Gyrocopter gets a Manta though.
And Helm of the Dominator.
And Helm of the Dominator, yeah. I was a little late to be stacking creeps, but it is going to give him the ability to just sit there and right click and do all of that damage with the flat cannon. Mid lane we're seeing Shadow Fiend pushing out, just trying to keep as much creep equilibrium as he can through these latter stages of the game. There's so much they have to just counter push so much in order to just keep from getting pushed on all sides while they're defending middle. In Viz, Batrider wants to go in from the side. Shadow Fiend gonna walk straight in for the ult. No, he's not gonna ult, he's gonna Manta Split first. Gets a pull on the silencer, BKB up, here comes the Shadow Fiend ultimate as well as the Sand King ultimate blinking in, tons of damage, no wall drop yet. There's the wall, that's gonna be your damage. Spectre goes down immediately, buys back. Shadow Fiend does finish off the Gyrocopter, but he's gonna go down himself to one right click. Silencer's alive, gets another triple kill, and a 2 for 2. Batrider buyback. Spectre buyback as well already, and so we're seeing chasing going against the Radiant, who are backing out again as Gyrocopter has gone down, and they're not able to push in the rest of the way. Successful defense. And that one wasn't as bad, as Spectre did not survive that team fight. In fact, she had to buy back, and so she's not getting bigger this time. No, she's actually going to get caught out. There's the sheep stick. Viking coming in, right-clicking, stun from the Leshrac and a whiff, stun from the Sand King coming in the other way, and now the Islancer might be in trouble. Spectre chasing out of Diffusal Blade charges, but it might be enough to bring him down. No, here comes the Dark Spear coming into the rescue, not going to be enough. That's going to back off, force the Spectre to back off, leaving Dark Spear to just come in on man mode. Trying to take down the Rax. Rax is going to fall. This should be Mega Creeps here, which I think should be GG. I do not think that. I don't know. Maybe there's this Batrider jumps in and grabs the Gyrocopter. If they can burst down the Gyrocopter, maybe, but they can't because Shadow Fiend is dead. It seems like an entire third of their damage. Ice Path's going to hit on 2. Spectre trying to do the damage. Sand King's going to finish off the Leshrac, but Sand King's going to get picked off himself for his insolence. Spectre goes down, and that's GG. Well played, called by Fox. Wow. What a game. So,
middle tower has fallen.
Predictions of short game that was one-sided, I think we're a little unfounded.
Ancient is under attack.
Yeah, I think in all honesty, like, you know, it could have been that way, but we really got to see that Pandemic is actually, you know, a pretty solid team. They've played together before, and they almost came back and fought for victory, but well played overall by Phantoms and by both teams in general. It was a good game to watch.
Yeah, very exciting, very well executed team fights from both sides. So thanks for casting with me, Icon. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll look forward to seeing your team and the rest of them. Your squad make it into the playoffs? Do you know, or it's going to depend on
I'm assuming
game tomorrow?
We'll play a council game tomorrow, and probably the winner will get a spot in the playoffs. So whoever wins tomorrow. Guess we'll see.
Alright, good luck for that. Stay tuned to my channel as well as the CEVO website to find out about finals and playoffs casting. I will be casting as much of it as is possible. Thanks again to Icon for casting with me tonight. And with that, we'll go ahead and sign out here. GG's, guys. Thanks.